If you're a Lions fan, you most definitely know what's going to happen next. It's December 3rd, 2015. We're in Detroit, Michigan for an NFL Week 13 game between the Packers and the Lions. No time left, and this play would add to a long list of painful events with being a Detroit Lions fan. But before we get into what happened at the end of this, let's rewind about 50 plus years ago to when it all started, where being a Detroit Lions fan wasn't the easiest. Let's go back in the 50s, where it was a great time to be in Detroit. People were making lots of money, and the Detroit Lions were one of the league's most dominant forces. They were one of the best teams in the 50s, winning 3 championships, thanks mostly to this man named Bobby Layne. He was a fan favorite all around the city of Detroit. Sadly, Layne broke his leg playing against the Cleveland Browns, so the Lions had to go out and sign veteran Tobin Roth, who would eventually lead them to the 1957 NFL championship.
And the Lions were like, you're a good player, you broke your leg, sorry, we're gonna trade you to the Steelers. So they trade him to the Steelers, ironically, and the legend is Bobby Layne says the Lions will never win for 50 years. And it's kind of what happened.
It got so bad that they lost on a 63-yard field goal to a kicker with half a foot. To show that the curse worked, Layne turned Pittsburgh around in a blink of an eye. The Steelers didn't win a playoff game for 25 straight years. After the Layne trade, they've won 28 playoff games, while the Lions have only won 1. Let's go all the way to 2002. After decades of misery being a Lions fan, the 2002 game against the Chicago Bears was one of the most odd games the Lions have ever played in. The Lions won the coin toss in overtime, but elected to kick off rather than to receive. And what do you know? Chicago marches down the field and scores to seal a win from Detroit. You could say the Lions had 2 players that were the best at their positions the game has ever seen. These 2 being running back Barry Sanders and wide receiver Calvin Johnson. But they both decided to shockingly retire early in their careers, really hurting the future of the Lions organization and once again crushing the hearts of Lions fans.
And he was always, top 3 in the NFL. After the season's over, top 100 players of the NFL, he was always in top 5. Just really, really good athlete, and he's a Hall of Famer for sure. But when he retired, because it kind of came out of nowhere, he just said that his body was tired, he was hurting, and he didn't think the franchise really gave him enough. He said that the franchise could have given him more, and they didn't.
Despite his freak athleticism, one major thing Calvin Johnson was known for was the Calvin Johnson rule. It seems here like he caught a touchdown pass to beat the Bears, but it went under official review, and the ref said he didn't complete the process of the catch in the end zone, costing the Lions another win. Now, let's fast forward a little bit more to events that have happened in the past decade. We have a running back thinking he never touched the ground, but he actually did.
He's down, and he kept on running, he scored a touchdown, and I was like, they're going to call it back, right? They've got to call it back. And I saw Jim Schwartz, the head coach at the time, he pulled out a red challenge flag, and was like, all right, this thing's going to get reviewed. So I was like, sweet. And we're watching the review, and we're like, he's down, clearly, and then the ref comes out.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
If you don't believe the Lions are known for getting screwed over, there's even a YouTube video with over 3 million views on them getting cheated called Detroit versus Everybody. And now here we are, back in 2015 for the Packers and Lions game. Packers have the ball down 22-21, just 15 seconds left on the clock. If they lose, they move to 8-5 on the year, while the Lions would go to 5-7 and keep their small playoff hopes alive. The Packers need a miracle to win this game, but there's a flag on the play against the Lions for a face mask that didn't happen. So that gives the Packers one more chance, and then this happened.
But can the receivers get far enough down the field?
Rodgers in trouble.
It's going to get there.
He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone, it is caught for the win.
And I remember my mom sitting there saying, it's okay, there's no way they're going to catch this. Really, Mom?